Welcome back to West Houston Presents. Well, today's guests are a group of seasoned professionals who, after playing together for years in different projects, have pooled their talents to take a shot at the great American songbook. Today, West Houston Presents takes a trip down the jazz side with Bohemian Jazz. How hip is that? Looking good, gang. Finally, Bohemian Jazz. I feel like I'm in a Peter Gunn episode going into Mothers. Yeah, you guys should play it. Let me introduce the fellas to the gang here. On the bass is Bobby Cattrano, who has visited us several other times and a good friend of West Houston Presents, as is on the drums, John LaCella. Sounds great. Now, Tom Pandelakis is the new man on the block. I have one question for you.
Yes.
You give guitar lessons? No. Anyway, so Tom, what got you into the Great American Songbook and playing jazz? Are you a jazz player from get-go, or did you come from rock and roll?
Well, I had some jazz influences, Wes Montgomery and Howard Roberts as a teenager, but I really couldn't play jazz. I played pop and rock and roll. And but later in life, I had the opportunity to start playing solo guitar, and that's when I started to stretch out.
Full gear, stretch out a little bit.
In that direction, right.
Well, for the folks at home, so they know, I mean, you know, rock and roll and pop music is a great basis and a great way to get into jazz playing in the Great American Songbook.
Yes.
I mean, you know, most young people want to play what their contemporaries are playing, but that could always be the first step to, you know, the real deal.
It is. Well, you know, there's a little more challenged in playing the tunes and playing over the changes. The chord changes are more challenging. So after a while, you start to realize you're ready to stretch out a little more and work yourself and understand that stuff.
It's absolutely coming through right here today, I have to tell you. John, how is everything, buddy?
Good, very good.
John, I think the last time we were talking, I didn't get a chance to ask you, like, some of your early influences.
Oh, early influences were all rock.
Yeah.
Really. Mitch Mitchell with Hendrix.
Oh.
Bonham, you know, and then branched out into jazz actually when I got a little older, studied with Charlie Perry, as I've told you before.
Excellent.
And he turned me on to everybody. I got to meet all the jazz greats through him, like Louis Bellson and Joe Morello and, you know, everybody. I mean, just like a lot.
Part of the learning experience to me, a big part of it was seeing other people who you admired actually playing.
Right.
People used to go out to places and see people, and it was just, you know, the records are great. I love records. But when you really see somebody live, it really
there's
is,
nothing like a
know.
live performance.
Do you remember when Cream was big and Ginger Baker, that he challenged what was that, Buddy Rich, and they had the big drum off? And I think that got a lot of younger people saying, "Who's Buddy Rich?" You know
That's
what
right.
I mean? So
right, introduce them to
another
Buddy Rich.
pathway in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. Bob, what do you think, buddy? Rattle me off a few of you know, your early.
You know, you asked me this. We were talking on the phone this week, and I forgot a couple of the earlier influences, and a big one was Paul McCartney.
Okay.
But one from left field, which I don't think a lot of people might not want to admit, but Tim Bogart from the Vanilla Fudge.
Oh, sure.
I wanted to cop all of his lines when he was doing that stuff.
Well, they were all, you know, they were all innovators at the time, you know. I mean, they were taking it away from the basics of Chuck Berry, who pretty much was using Muddy Waters' rhythm section, and they were stretching it out a little. Do you think that people like Bogart from that band would be influenced by, like, Jack Bruce and, you know, or...
Well, Bruce was around the same era, I would say. Yeah, Jack Bruce was an influence for me, too.
There's just so many good players, it's almost hard to absorb.
But I think on Long Island, a lot of people were influenced by Tim, and I don't think a lot of people come out and actually say it.
Okay.
So I decided I would say it today.
No, nothing wrong with that. You're picking the best, I think. And what was the catalyst to throw you into the world of jazz playing?
Let's see. Well, in the 70s, I was in like a jazz rock band, and that gave me a little taste of it. But as I got older, I wanted to get better. I felt like what I was doing was, I wasn't growing, and I was almost doing my performances and sleeping through them. So I wanted something to be more challenging
and this was
and to improve me as a musician.
Great. Fabulous. And did you take lessons too, or?
I'm studying with Mike Frost, as a matter of fact.
Oh, Mike Frost, he's been on several times. What a player.
He's a monster.
He had Two Deep. Two bass players and a drummer.
Yep.
Wow. That was a great band. Still is.
Yeah.
I think he's on tour with Jesse Colin Young right now.
Yeah, and he also has his own group down in South Carolina.
Wow.
And he comes up here to teach once a month now.
Teaching school, right?
Yeah.
Now, what was the name of that tune you played us?
That last tune was called Unit 7.
Unit 7. And what's the name of the next tune?
And this tune is called Sugar by Stanley Tarantine.
Whoa, we're ready for Sugar.
All right.
Anyway, so Bobby, let me ask you this, buddy.
Yeah.
You know, like in folk music, you say, oh, folk music. It could be John Jacob Niles, or you could be Peter, Paul, and Mary. You know what I mean? It's like totally different.
Right.
In the world of jazz,
Yeah.
where would this sound fit in, do you think? I mean, you know how people love to put things in pockets. Personally, I hate it, but I mean...
In a category.
Yeah. I mean, if someone said, "Oh, we're looking to do this gig," well, what type of music do you play?
Well, we do the like the traditional type of tunes with maybe a modern twist, maybe more of a modern twist, maybe.
Okay.
But it's not quite fusion.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's not
Yeah.
quite fusion, yet it's definitely not like right in the traditional.
No,
but
right.
It's
So
kind of like traditional and overdrive a little bit almost.
It's
you know.
Bohemian Jazz.
And there's so many tunes in the Great American Songbook. How do you pick the tunes that you're going to do?
Well, we might hear something, might like it. We'll run it by everybody. We'll ask Tom, since he's the main soloist, if he's comfortable with it and if he thinks he can do something with it. And Tom says, yeah, this is going to work for us. Then we
Okay.
usually do it. We usually all come with some suggestions.
So it's a group arrangements.
Yeah, and
Group
then,
arrangements.
then we
head
arrange it as a
now,
group.
Tom, when so you've got the lead sheet. You guys are going to do the tune. I mean, you're basically familiarizing yourself with the chord patterns and improvising over after you state the melody a little bit.
Well, that's what happens. But there's a lot more preparation that goes in, especially between the three members of the group, where we work out a definite format of the tune, how it's going to go. Is it verse, verse, chorus, verse, or we're doing it twice? Is there going to be a drum fill? Will there be a bass solo?
Great.
And that all gets discussed, and then it gets worked on. And not one of our tunes is really a head tune. We have maybe a couple where we just threw it together, but most of the work is rehearsed, at least in terms of the form of the song.
So your basic lead sheet would be just get you halfway there, and then you have to embellish it, work on it, fill it out to your own satisfaction.
Yeah,
and make a
that's
real tune for the Bohemian Jazz to play. Who are some of your big jazz guitar favorites?
Well, when I was a kid, it was Wes Montgomery, and I still love him. I still shake my head when I hear him playing, and I loved Howard Roberts, but I also listened to Chet Atkins, who was more country, and I was heavily influenced by Chet Atkins. And I also listened to Tony Mottola.
Oh, yeah.
You remember him?
I do.
I don't
In fact,
know if our audience knows
when
him,
I
but-
went to pick the albums, there's a wild thing with Tony Mottola. It's like he's not on any of the covers. The audiophile albums, they're all black and white with just printing. So I have them, but I couldn't drag one out.
Who knows what he looks like?
Who knows what he looks like? The mystery of Tony Mottola. Although I'm sure Frank Sinatra knows because he played with him for years.
Oh, is that right?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, he was a superior guitarist.
A great accompanist. A lot of
yeah.
people don't have that knack of accompanying singers. Now, what's the name of the next tune you're going to do for us?
My one and only love.
Ah, one of my favorites. We're ready. Beautiful, guys. Really, really nice. Well, you're recording a CD. It's in the process. It's almost there. And the name of it is?
Bohemian Jazz, Once More with Feeling.
Once More with Feeling. And you're picking the tunes from your repertoire that you've worked out.
Yes.
Are you recording it live? I mean, just sitting there and going for it?
Yes.
Good. Is it an independent?
Yes, it is.
And where are you recording it?
At Eaton's Neck Studios
Okay. Where is that?
in Eaton's Neck.
Northport.
Northport.
Out Northport.
You jazz guys. Gang, here's what we got to tell you. It's time to go out and see some live music. Bohemian Jazz is out there as much as they can be. That's up to you. We need you to go see live music. Support the local music scene. And I have to say, it's one heck of a great scene. I wish there were more gigs, because we definitely have more talented players than we have gigs out here.
That's true.
And you can go, we're gonna post the information to contact Bohemian Jazz. You'll find out about their new CD, their touring schedule, their bios, photos. That's what we need you to do. I want to thank the guys one more time.
Thanks for having us, Wes.
Bobby,
Thank
John,
you.
and Tom. It was so
Pleasure.
nice meeting
Thank
you,
you,
buddy.
thank you,
Great
thank you.
guitarist.
Thank you.
And fellas, can you
Thank you.
play us out with one?
Sure
What's the
will.
name of this one?
This is called Night Has a Thousand Eyes.
We're ready for the night.